Touching on the top value plays here for week 12, as well as some sleepers that you could potentially pick up in your season-long league. Starting below 6K at the quarterback position, we're looking at Derek Carr. Derek Carr, over his last 3 games, has had at least 17 DK points or more. Could be a solid filler for you guys as well. Looking at the Seattle Seahawks, not really a matchup that you are particularly worried about. Love the fact that he's had over 36 passing attempts over the last 3 games as well. The defense just hasn't been playing as good, and he's been throwing the ball a little bit more and has looked a little bit better as of recent. He's a player that you could look at if you need to in a pinch. From there, we got news that Davis Mills could potentially sit. If he does sit, I actually don't mind the idea of playing Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen is a fine backup quarterback, but obviously the thing that you would like is going to be the price point and then the matchup with the Miami Dolphins. One of the best matchups on the slate, a matchup that we've really been chasing a ton this season. So Kyle Allen could easily get to like 15 DK points. Not something that's going to break the slate, but at this price point, could be a very strong price point play. Could be someone that you're looking at as a 3X option. So we got to wait on injury news for this play, but Bryce Perkins could potentially be a very strong price point play as well. The rushing quarterback here, we'd be looking at 10 rushing attempts or so, maybe 8 DK points via his legs, and then maybe hopefully try to get lucky with a passing touchdown, maybe 200 passing yards as well. KC is a decent matchup as well, but we got to make sure John Wolford's out and also Matthew Stafford's out for Bryce Perkins to be a play, but he is someone that, could easily get done with his legs as well. He was a preseason NFL DFS stud for you guys as well, or for us as well, so just so you know. Looking at the top running back plays, we are going to stick with the LA Rams, looking at Kyron Williams. Now, Kyron Williams, if you watched Isaiah Pacheco at all, that's kind of what Kyron Williams reminds me of. Maybe a little bit better of a pass catcher, and Pacheco is a little bit more of a bruiser, but kind of the same style back. I would expect Kyron Williams to get a little bit more work this game. He had 55% of the snaps last week, and we just got news right before I started this that Darrell Henderson had been waived by the LA Rams. That is interesting. Potentially we could see Cam Akers maybe get a little bit more work. Cam Akers finally looked decent last week. Maybe they bring in someone like Melvin Gordon. Honestly, that'd probably be the perfect fit. Melvin Gordon going there. So we'll have to wait and see, but as it says right now, Kyron Williams at 4.9 would be a great price point play for you, especially for a game in which you would imagine they'd be trying to pass the ball a little bit more, which should mean more snaps for Kyron Williams. But to get a guy, in this offense that got 55% of the snaps, that is intriguing to me. And then Latavius Murray at 5K, kind of an obvious play with Melvin Gordon gone now. He is someone that's going to step into a bigger role. Already saw 50% of the snaps last week. You'd expect that number to get up to maybe 70, 60%. 4 targets last week. You like that as well. Gets a great matchup going against the Carolina Panthers. That's a matchup in which he should be able to exploit. And obviously, over his last few games, over 10 DK points in 3 out of those 4. So a very strong price point play, most likely on this slate. Michael Carter gets a great matchup going against the Chicago Bears. Now, I kind of warned you guys, the last 2 weeks against Buffalo is like, great. How do you get to 15 DK points? And then last week against the Patriots, like you weren't targeting there because it was a tough matchup. Now this week against the Chicago Bears, that's a matchup that you obviously like. The issue with him is that he's only playing about 50% of the snaps, and he's not getting as many targets as you would have thought. He is a pass catching back, and those targets haven't been there. I also think that'd be a good fit for Melvin Gordon, so we have to wait and see on the news with him because he should land in a pretty decent spot. Then we're looking at Tyler Algier, guys. The last 2 weeks with Cordero Patterson back, the lead running back for the Atlanta Falcons has been Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier continues to look good. Played in 55% of the snaps as well. It just wouldn't be shocking to see him be the lead back once again. Obviously, if he's the lead back, you can get him at low ownership, and he could be someone that could potentially break the slate. Looking at White played in 64% of the snaps, and his last game obviously went off against the Seattle Seahawks, and wouldn't it be surprising to see him kind of take over that backfield. And at 5.1, that's a cheap price point. And then factor in that he's going against the Cleveland Browns. That is a great matchup as well. Like if he's going to be the starting running back, he should be the player that you're going out of your way to play on this, say, value price point wise. The problem here that you're seeing is that we have just so much good value that's going to be tough to figure out which player to play. Now switching it up into the receivers, I want to start with this player, Greg Dortch. Okay, Greg Dortch would just simply be a lock if Marquise Brown is out, and I'm expecting Rondale Moore to be out. They got to reactivate Marquise Brown from the IR. I expect that to happen this week. There's rumors that it might happen last week, and it didn't. But also, it is kind of a strange injury, an injury that you don't want to rush. So if Brown is inactive and Moore is inactive, then Greg Dortch at 3.1 is just simply a lock. We've seen him be in this role before. Like it's not shocking that he went off. It's just not. He's a good NFL receiver, and we've seen him step into this role prior. Okay, one of the reasons why we loved Rondale Moore throughout the season is because we knew that role was highly coveted, okay? Like Greg Dortch was in it, and then when Rondale Moore came back, it was expected that'd be him. It was easy to target. So if those two players are out, then yes, Greg Dortch, just an easy plug and play. So Denzel Mims sucks. I think that's not up for debate, really. Just a bad NFL receiver. But he has been playing a lot. Okay. And playing time is key. And then also the matchup with the Chicago Bears is going to be key as well. The Bears have not been a good defense recently. And you look at Denzel Mims snaps, the last 3 weeks went from 75 to 83 to 90% of the snaps. Obviously, you like that. And to get a guy pretty much at the minimum price in a great matchup, a guy that just saw 60 or 6 targets and 90% of the snaps in a tough matchup, gets an easy matchup with the Bears. It wouldn't be shocking to see him go for 10 DK points. Ben Skoranek was a huge letdown last week, but now he gets an easy matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think if Bryce Perkins is a quarterback, that does hurt him. A running quarterback would not really be beneficial, but still played 84% of the snaps, still played a majority of the snaps. I thought he would have been a better value play last week. I still think he could be a good value play this week, especially going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Once again, a matchup that you do want to target. If you are someone that has him in season-long leads, I would still give it another week, wait and see approach there, because he still could be kind of the guy there. With KJ Hamler expected to sit out another week, Kendall Hinton could be in for another huge workload. Okay, the last 2 weeks, 96% of the snaps and 86% of the snaps last week. 8.7 and 10.2 DK points, could be another strong price point play for you on the slate. And then Dotson. Dotson seems pretty cheap. It's pretty clear that Dotson is a very talented receiver. Now, I know my boys Christian Watson, and I know Garrett Wilson has looked like a stud, and Chris Olave has looked like a stud. You could argue that Dotson has flashed just as much upside as all those receivers. Okay, just obviously he's been injured. Maybe the targets come his way a little bit more in this game against Atlanta, only playing 60% of the snaps. Prior to his injury, he was getting about 80% of the snaps. So we need to see that snap share go up 20%, but if it does, he could be a very strong price point play as well. He's someone that has broken the slate twice already this season. It just won't be shocking to see that happen again. And then I do want to call Zay Jones as a sleeper, or potentially someone you might want to pick up in your season-long leads if he's available. Bye weeks happen. Someone might have had to have dropped him. Could be someone you're looking at. He is playing about 90% of the snaps, and there are games in which he is gaining 10 plus targets. Okay. A pretty solid player gets a good matchup, and if he's playing all the snaps, the chances of him getting those targets again could be there. So could be someone that you're looking at. Could be a very strong price point play. And then tight end wise, there's really not anyone that's a standout play. There's a lot of shoulder shrug plays, a lot of players that if you end up on them, you're fine with. Noah Fant, Tyler Conklin, Evan Ingram, Logan Thomas. We're all fine with those plays. Trey McBride, no one that's a standout price point play tight end wise just yet. But that's all I have for you guys for the value plays video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys found some sleepers as well that you could potentially be on. If you guys enjoyed the coverage, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to put out more content for you guys. All right, thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.